Hey friends, welcome to my 2023 Paint Louis Festival recap and time-lapse video. This Labor Day weekend, over 500 artists from all over the world descended on St. Louis to repaint 3 miles of this Mississippi River flood wall. Dubbed the Mural Mile, this wall has appeared in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest continuous mural in the world. This annual event has been happening since 1997, so I felt honored to be a part of it. But let's run it back right quick and talk about how I got here. My concept was inspired by my dad's past work as a tugboat maintenance engineer and my Frogs Far and Wide project, bringing street art of native frog characters to different locations, celebrating an aspect of each city's unique culture. To prepare for the event, I drew a few references of tugboats and frogs, drew a thumbnail sketch, built a scale model, drew a 1/48 scale draft sketch, picked out my color palette and shipped my paints to the festival organizers, drew a digital mock-up, created a reference sheet, and painted an 8-foot by 8-foot version in my backyard. Oh, I also raised $2,500 on GoFundMe through the gracious support of my family, friends, community members, and other investors in the arts. When the day came, my partner dropped off Little Fathead and I at the airport. We took our connecting flight to Houston. The last time I took a plane ride was in 2018 when I started this sketchbook, so I took the chance to draw some people in the airport. I also took the opportunity to make some silly little videos with Little Fathead enjoying their first flight. Once we'd landed safely in St. Louis, we checked into where we were staying and got some rest before the big day. Waking up that first morning in St. Louis was such an amazing feeling. This was my first time traveling out of state for a paint fest, so I was excited to get out there. To save myself money and potential digestive hassles, I brought food with me so that I'd have a good breakfast and lunch every day. Taking meds on an empty stomach always makes me super queasy, so food was definitely a priority. After a tasty breakfast, I packed my lunch and other gear into my cart. I didn't rent a car, so I took a Lyft to the Herc Rentals to schedule my scissor lift drop-off. This was also my first time renting a scissor lift, so that was pretty exciting. I went out to the wall to wait for the delivery guy and pick up my paints. And then when we got to my spot, he was like, "That's not going to work there." The ground was way too uneven for an electric lift, so the Herc people came out to check it out. I got started on painting while they went back to their office to find a lift that would work in the spot that I was in. Fortunately, by the end of the day, they found an all-terrain lift with outriggers that worked just fine for the spot I was in, and I also learned a lot in the process. The wall was right next to a massive freight yard, so I got to do a little benching while I was painting, which was pretty neat. There were a lot of cool pieces that went up on the trains. I was glad I got to capture some video of this one as it was pulling out of the yard. Anyways, let's get back to the rest of this time-lapse video. It was surprisingly hot out, so I caught some shade under the lift to have lunch. Also, Lil Fathead went up in the lift and tagged up the heaven spot on my wall. I didn't catch it in the time-lapse video, but I threw up a bunch of my FTK crewmates' tags. Really helped fill out the composition. Also, I shared this wall section with some talented local muralists, people from around the Midwest, and a couple of people from Canada, which was really cool. While there were 500 artists at the event, mural artists were actually in the minority, and there were only a few sections with murals. Walking to and from the wall, I got to see a lot of sights.
That's my little car. Vroom vroom. And the St. Louis Arch. Woo!
Love seeing the girls from the Yatusabes crew in New Mexico. They killed this. I pet some dogs that were really cute. I got to meet the Few and Far crew. I mean, look at this wall. They're an all-female crew that I first heard about through Lupe Fiasco, and oh my freaking god. It's so good. They killed it. Also, everybody killed it, honestly, the whole way through. GAC and RK crew did this Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood production, which was sick. I mean, look at all these crew productions. These walls were like 20 feet high. The wall I was on was only 16 feet high. These ones were huge. Norm Forever, Eyes, Bobby, and Killer Napkins were on that mural wall. This YPN crew production was out of this world. The card images that they had perspective shifted through the wall was phenomenal. It was so inspiring to be in this place with all of these people, all kind of dedicated to making this entire wall beautiful. I was obsessed with the lighting effects on this mech, or whatever the heck this was. It was insane. Just the amount of talent. Like, everybody came and brought their A game. It was like, look at this. Look at this. It's insane. Considering that I've only been spray painting since January of 2020, I just felt so proud to be among all of these super amazing aerosol artists, graffiti artists, writers, mural artists. It was insane. I couldn't have made this happen without everybody who supported me and everybody that's ever taught me anything along the way. Like, I've done a lot of practicing and stuff to get here, but like, it's hard to even take in the full scale of what happened that weekend. It was a beautiful thing. I felt really fortunate to be stationed next to local artist Kiki Salem, who was a really chill chick. She goes by Low Kiki on Instagram. But she took me to the B-Side bar, which was a really cute and eclectic bar. They had super good burgers. Kind of reminded me of Casino El Camino in Austin. I got to see the St. Louis Arch on my way out while I was in my Lyft. And I also got to check out White Castle while I was up there, because we don't have those in Texas. Here's a little shot from the Houston airport, waiting on going home. My last connecting flight from Houston to Austin had these unhinged videos in them, which was pretty hilarious. Little Fathead got kind of dirty, so by the time we got home, we had to give him a little bath. Anyways, this is one of the coolest things I think I've ever done. I couldn't have done it without the people who invest in my arts and support me and donate to my funds and whatnot. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. That's yours? Yeah, this one's mine. Thank you. Thank you.